Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. First, New York Attorney General Letitia James seems to make a stunning admission about her mortgage fraud. We've got the clip. It's pretty interesting. It was like she said, "Sure, I took the cookies, but you can't prove I meant to eat them." Then, Representative Nancy Mace moved to censure Ilhan Omar for her vile comments about Charlie Kirk. Omar didn't just cross the line. She bulldozed it, built a mosque on it, and then told Charlie's family to pray facing the other way. Next, Jimmy Kimmel says that Kirk's killer was a MAGA supporter. Sure, Jimmy. And I guess when people have a favorite restaurant, they burn it down because they love the food. And finally, a TV anchor in Illinois resigned after being suspended for a short, nonpartisan tribute to Charlie Kirk. So a nonpartisan emotional tribute to a friend is career-ending, but a 3-hour panel calling Trump supporters fascists, well, that's totally fine. And then we go to the comment section. We have a comment on the segment that we did about the appeals court that blocked that Obama judge who was trying to force the Planned Parenthood funding. Someone had asked, can Planned Parenthood donate to Democrats' campaigns? So we'll take a look at that. Okay. Let's dive in. On the allegations of mortgage fraud, New York Attorney General Letitia James seems to admit she did it. She didn't argue that she was innocent, only that prosecutors will have a tough time proving that she knew what she was doing. She's basically saying, yeah, I did it, but in my defense, I'm too dumb to have done it on purpose.
And they're using mortgage fraud as the vehicle upon which they're investigating myself, Adam Schiff, Miss Cook, Lisa Cook, and countless others. And it is, most of it, as you know, is frivolous. It's baseless because in order to prove mortgage fraud, one has to prove intent. And that's a very high standard, a very high bar to meet.
Nothing says definitely didn't commit a crime like immediately explaining why it's notoriously difficult to prosecute. It's the kind of answer you'd expect from someone who's been to way too many Clinton Foundation dinners. Representative Nancy Mace has introduced a resolution to censure Ilhan Omar and strip her of her committee assignments for vile comments about Charlie Kirk. According to Mace's office, Omar's remarks in social media posts demeaned Charlie Kirk, belittled his grieving family, and all but blamed him for his own. Here's an example.
You know, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, you know, like than to completely pretend that, you know, his words and actions have not been recorded. And
Omar's comments were so vile, you'd think that she was trying to win, most likely to be quoted by Al-Qaeda. During his monologue last night, Jimmy Kimmel claimed that conservatives are trying to paint Charlie Kirk's killer as anything other than one of them.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
Turns out the shooter had a transgender boyfriend that hates conservatives and Christians. So yeah, clearly a die-hard conservative. Because if there's one thing the right is famous for, it's dating trans activists. An Illinois TV anchor announced that she's resigning from her local ABC affiliate station after being suspended for airing a nonpartisan tribute to her mentor, Charlie Kirk. The tribute was only 1 minute and 17 seconds long, where she revealed that Kirk was her first boss and mentor, and that he encouraged her to believe in herself and pursue her dreams. She also said this.
One of my favorite sayings that Charlie would always tell us at the office. He would yell it from the mountaintops, so please listen. When conversations stop happening, when individuals become wordless, that's when violence begins. So if you do one thing today, make it be with passion, with conviction. Stand up for your friends. Stand up for your beliefs.
The station has responded saying that she wasn't fired for her tribute. She was fired for going 77 seconds without mentioning climate change, January 6th, or systemic racism. And now onto the comment section. Before we get started, I just want to mention somebody commented that I should try Hydrox cookies. Sorry, I'm really into cookies, but I guess they said they were the original Oreo cookie, or they were like the original ones like that, right? So anyway, thank you. I'm going to try those. Okay, first comment is on the segment that we did about the magistrate judge in that released the Charlotte killer. So we had a segment where we compared that judge, the magistrate judge, to Forrest Whitaker. And we have this comment from 408 Dolly. Forrest has less of a mustache than the judge, just saying. Okay, and then on this segment we did about Bill Maher, where he said, this was just yesterday, that if people weren't bothered by Charlie Kirk being they're the problem, basically. So on that segment, also, I had explained that the person who he was talking to looked kind of like Bill Burr. And he wasn't Bill Burr, but Bill Burr was actually trending on X when they should have mentioned this other guy. So there was some confusion on that. This is for a comment from Jeremiah Bullfrog. LOL, who's that guy? I thought it was Bill Burr, which just made me laugh because so many people did. Here's another one. Some effing guy. Wait, that wasn't Bill Burr? How was that not Bill Burr? So I thought, let's just look at these two guys together. We did have Jeff Paczynski point out that it was Billy Corgan. I think it's actually just Corgan, not Corrigan. But Billy Corgan smashing pumpkins. Let's just show you both pictures. So I'm going to put up Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins and Bill Burr, so you can see both of them. And Bill Burr, he is the bald one. Just kidding, they're both bald. So Bill Burr, I think, is the one with a little bit of red in his beard. But they absolutely could be twins. So anyway, they do look very similar. Okay, now with this segment that we did about Jasmine Crockett, the genius Jasmine Crockett, where she just said some crazy things about ICE and criminals, where she said doing something criminal committing a crime doesn't mean you're a criminal. That one. So we had this comment from Liberty Research. Did Crockett actually just say that she understands history? I haven't laughed that hard since Biden said, God save the Queen. And after that comment, I actually had to, I went and looked up Biden saying God save the Queen again, because I kind of had missed it. And it was great. He said God save the Queen, man, on the one that I saw. But yeah, when Crockett said she understands history, that was great. The other thing that I thought was good was after she talked about slave patrols, she clarified for us that she didn't live through the slave patrols, which is good, because I had thought maybe she was alive during the 1800s. So I'm glad that she told everyone, she's not, 150 years old or whatever. Crazy. Anyway, now onto this segment that we did. This is the one with Howard Stern and Roseanne Barr, where Roseanne ripped Howard Stern a new one. This comment from Wyatt Selleck. I always thought of Howard as a never-ending bowel movement. Perfect. Okay. And then this is on the segment we did about the appeals court that actually blocked that district court judge who was forcing the government to send taxpayer funds to Planned Parenthood. And the appeals court actually stopped that during litigation. So this is a comment from Christopher Angeli. I've always wondered why taxpayers need to pay for their mistakes. They should be crossing their legs instead of their fingers. That was a good one. Okay. And then this is a more substantive comment. This is from Steve Lux. 98.54. Historically, around 15% of Planned Parenthood federal government funding is rerouted back to the campaign funds of the Democrats who push their funding bills through Congress and the DNC. Now, I didn't know if I could find an article that would confirm that specifically, because I'm sure anything like that, if it was happening, would be hidden in, all sorts of different weird accounting trails and multiple NGOs and stuff. But I did find this article from PBS. And look at this. Planned Parenthood to spend $40 million ahead of November on Democrat campaigns. So that's like right in the news. Yeah, Planned Parenthood is giving a bunch of cash to Democrats. And this was a snippet from that same article. The spending plan is not an election cycle record for the group. It spent $45 million ahead of Biden defeating Trump in 2020 and $50 million before the 2022 midterms. So Planned Parenthood is giving lots of money to Democrats, and it really does make you wonder, if taxpayer funding is going to Planned Parenthood, how do we know that taxpayer funding isn't just going right back out to Democrats somehow? And I really wouldn't be surprised if that's happening. So anyway, that is what I found on that particular comment, though. Thanks for watching Headlines. And if you have any friends or family that you think would appreciate my videos, please send them a link. I would appreciate it. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.